record. Okay. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Rachel, the Messy Minimalist. We're gonna talk about clutter blindness. First, what is clutter blindness? Do you have it? How do you combat it? It's kind of a loaded topic here. So what is clutter blindness? Well, clutter blindness is basically the inability to see clutter. It's the inability to see the areas in our homes that collect things. Clutter blindness is walking past a bunch of junk or a bunch of trash or whatever it is and just not seeing it. Our eyes are open, but it's almost as if our brain just like cuts it out and we just look past it. For me, I am very aware now anyway that I have clutter blindness. As I've been kind of working on being more minimal, it slowly started showing itself to me that, I guess, I don't even know how to say it. I was clutter blind, but now I see. And I see that I have a lot of junk and I have a lot of clutter and I've got problem areas. So, just to kind of talk about problem areas. They're all different for everybody. My problem areas aren't going to be the same as your problem areas, and that's going to be because our houses are different and our habits are different, and some of us know where our stuff goes. Some of us, like me, don't have the faintest idea where to put things, so they do sort of clutter up in certain spots. We all have different tolerance levels. Some of us have, a very high tolerance for clutter. We are the most blind of the bunch. And then I think some of us have, just varying degrees of it. Some of us have a lower tolerance for clutter to the point of no tolerance for clutter. And those are the ones that probably aren't even watching this video because you guys are already clean and you don't need my help talking about clutter. Anyway, I'm guessing that if you're watching this, you probably have at least a little bit of clutter blindness yourself. Again, I'm just going to talk about kind of how I've sort of opened my eyes to clutter blindness and how I'm trying to combat that a little bit. And here's a couple tips on how you guys can combat it too. So as I was reflecting on the fact that I'm clutter blind, I started thinking like, oh man, ignorance was bliss. Before, I didn't really even know that the clutter was there. It was like I could walk past it. And so for me, just even opening my eyes and seeing like, oh, wait a second, yeah, I knew I was messy, but I didn't realize how bad it was because I was blind to it. I just didn't see the stuff. And now that I see it, I'm aware like, oh, that's why I've been stressed. That's the problem. This is why it's better to not be ignorant about your clutter and why it's good to be aware. And the reason is because even though ignorance seems like bliss, we still are somewhere in the back of our head aware that the clutter is there. A good chance is this is probably causing a little bit of stress. It's just adding to all these other bits of information being input into our brains, and we can only process so much at once. So it might just manifest itself as an extra piece of stress, and you never know why. Turns out it's because we can't stand the clutter and we also can't see it. It's actually funny, and reflecting on my own experiences with it, I've now noticed and realized that I can walk by an area like 20 times before I really even realize that it's messy. It still happens, even though I feel that I'm opening my eyes and I can see that I've got like problem areas. I still tend to let them sit for a while, and so that's the kind of thing that I'm working on right now, and hopefully you guys, as you become aware of your own clutter blindness, can work on it too and not let things sit for quite so long. So some ways for you to figure out if you've been clutter blind. Number one is to just walk into a room, like, pick a room, whatever room it is, walk in there and stand either in the middle of the room or in the entrance of the room and just stare at everything. Like actually go through every single item in the room and start taking an inventory, mentally. Table, sofa, lamp, whatever. Figure out what's in the room, and as you're looking and taking that inventory, you're gonna start noticing some stuff. So that's a good way to do it. You just walk into a room, you assess everything in the room, and just start looking, and you will start to notice your problem areas. For me, pretty much any table is gonna have any sort of random assortment of sippy cup, coffee or tea mug, water glass, etc. Like those areas get cluttered with glasses and dishes. Garbages are also a problem area for me. We just throw it in that direction and we hope for the best, and if it doesn't make it in the garbage, oh well. And then we notice it like 3 weeks later and we wonder why that area is so gross. Another good way to help identify your problem areas or your degree of clutter blindness is invite a friend who you consider to be a really detail-oriented friend, or ideally a clean person, a neat freak, a minimalist, whatever it is. Maybe it's a fellow messy person, but you just need a fresh set of eyes. A big part of being clutter blind is because we're so used to our spaces. They say that we're only really ever seeing something directly in front of us. We see out of the sides of our eyes, but our brain's really patching it together. We're not really looking over there. So a big part of having a friend come over with you is just having them be that fresh set of eyes. You're no longer just patching together where things are. Your friend is looking and hopefully just really scrutinizing the space. Don't get mad at your friend if they find something that you're like, oh, that's not even messy. Because that's probably going to happen. It's all about personal growth here. The last way that I found to be a little bit helpful for me in identifying where my clutter blindness is at its worst. For instance, I know that tables just tend to accumulate stuff for me. So because I went into my first room and I could see right away, like, okay, 2 out of the 3 tables in here are filled with junk. So now I know as I go into other rooms to look at a table and right away I'm going to see like, oh, yep, that's my problem area. Tables are something I struggle with. Garbage cans, strangely enough, are something I struggle with. It's really gross, actually. It's like disgusting. I don't know if any of you guys are like that too, but my garbage cans are in a nasty little area. And that's probably why I'm blind to it. It's like my mind is like, no, don't look at that disgusting stuff, and it just makes it disappear. So I'm gonna go and walk through the house and find a couple areas that are my problem areas, and maybe it'll just inspire you to walk through your house. It'll just tip you off to a spot to go look at. Alrighty, so this is one of those areas where clutter blindness is possibly at its worst. This is my husband's nightstand. He's actually sitting in the bed next to me, but you can't see it, and I'm definitely getting a stink eye. So he tells me that these are fresh, which I believe him, but nonetheless, it's still a little bit of clutter. Just stuff like headphones, wrappers, again, kind of the funny thing, there is a garbage right here, but we still both, have this issue where things just don't quite make it into the garbage, like I mentioned. Okay, there's a CD back there. Who knows what that is? Just stuff, a bookend that's not doing its job. Yeah, just clutter. Okay, so this is a little embarrassing for me because I'm showing you guys my bathroom and I'm just embarrassed about it. But so this has been sitting here for easily over a week. I don't know, just kind of gross stuff, a Duplo thing. Okay, again, I'm embarrassed, but whatever. I promised you guys real, so this is what you're getting. But just stuff that doesn't make it into the garbage. And it just sits there, and I think it's like nobody wants to touch it once it's gotten on the ground by the toilet, so it sits there for a while. Normally, it's even worse, so blech. My laundry room. This is a spot I haven't even attempted to get to, but this area here is miscellaneous shoes, our daughter's fake cleaning tote. That's actually a box of trash that's just kind of been sitting there, but well, whatever. So anyway, this area here in our laundry room definitely just collects clutter. No matter how many times we clean that up, it just gets trashed again. This is an area that we will tackle in a future video. So this I'm showing you guys because it is a pile of donate items that I have from my last video when we were working on the book nook. The reason I'm showing you this, so it hasn't quite made it to Goodwill yet, but this whole area here, if it's not full of donate items, it's full of something. And that's kind of the issue, is like, you just never know what's going to be there. And the last spot is our stairs. Unfortunately, this is a spot that also is a little embarrassing for me because, you know, for instance, like, I don't want this. I think actually I'll just throw this in the donate pile now, but you know, it just accumulates stuff. There's some kids' snow pants there, a piece of wall art that I'm gonna keep, you know, a book. God. This is the kind of thing that we find on our stairs. It's a dull blade for our circular saw. I mean, this is just trash anyway. It's so dull, it wouldn't cut anything. So it's, you know, but instead of going in the trash, it just sits on our stairs. In fact, I'm gonna take that and put that in the trash now, but yeah, so you can see what I'm saying here. It's a problem area. It's always full of something, and I'm hoping to, you know, just make a commitment to not be blind to this spot. Alright, so there you have it. Nice little walkthrough. We talked about clutter blindness, what it is, how to figure out if you're clutter blind, and how to start identifying areas that you struggle with. So I would love to hear if you guys feel like clutter blindness is something that ails you, if you are either recently or in the past or just starting to open your eyes and see through the clutter. I would love to kind of hear about your problem areas. Thanks again for watching. I really appreciate that you guys are on this journey with me, and hopefully you get something out of learning about clutter blindness. I know that it's been a real eye-opener for me. It's a bad joke. I feel like in my mind I was trying to think of all these different jokes that go along with clutter blindness. I really like puns. I'm learning this about myself. No, whatever. Anyway, thanks again for watching. I will continue to post more videos every Thursday, and if you have any ideas of topics that you either want to see me talk about or videos that you want to see from my house and my area, feel free to just suggest them in the comments. This is an ongoing thing for me, so, you know, by all means, suggest away. Alright guys, that's it. Whew. If you enjoyed this, then please subscribe to my channel, and I will continue to post more videos every Thursday. If you liked it, go ahead and like it. If you didn't like it, just go ahead and pass on it. No need to be mean. Thanks again, and I will talk to you later.